Good morning and welcome to your daily Solo 401k webinar Q&A session with my Solo 401k Financial, where we help you to stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. We also cover certain topics during these live webinars. Today's topic is MySolo401k Financial and Fidelity investments, how sole proprietorships can still open a solo 401k plan here in 2026 and make tax year 2025 solo 401k contributions. This is also your chance to ask questions regarding today's topic or any other aspect about retirement accounts. Go ahead and type those over and we'll answer those as they come in. Okay, so let's get started here. So you still have time to open a solo 401k plan in 2026 so that you can make tax year 2025 solo 401k contributions if your self-employed business is taxed as a sole proprietorship. And you have the Secure Act 2.0 to thank for that. Secure Act 2.0 greatly changed the regulations for retirement plans, including the setup deadline for making prior year annual contributions. So you're going to be able to open a solo 401k plan with my Solo401k Financial and use Fidelity investments to hold their retirement funds through their company retirement non-prototype brokerage accounts. So even though Fidelity offers their own solo 401k plan, they also provide what they refer to as non-prototype brokerage accounts for a solo 401k plan offered by my Solo401k Financial that has all the different built-in features, such as being able to perform the Mega Backdoor Roth solo 401k strategy, the ability to borrow from your own solo 401k through a participant loan, also the ability to make not only equity investments, but also alternative investments like real estate, precious metals, cryptocurrency, and so forth. And of course, unlike a solo 401k offered by Fidelity, one offered by my solo 401k Financial does come with the $1,500 auto contribution tax credit. And we'll talk more about that credit as well, which is a way of the government effectively pushing self-employed individuals to save more for their retirement future by providing that $1,500 subsidy, essentially. So we're going to discuss solo 401k deadlines, opening a plan here in 2026 so you can make 2025 contributions, limitations by Fidelity, and how my solo 401k Financial helps. So key strategy again is open a solo 401k plan here in 2026 so that you can make contributions for tax year 2025, assuming you had enough earned income from self-employment activity in 2025. Even though today's webinar is honing in on how a sole proprietorship still has time to make contributions, this also applies to a certain degree to other self-employed entity types like S-corps and partnerships, for example. And we've put on webinars on those specific entities over the last week or so as well. So again, the IRS regulations allow you to open a solo 401k plan in 2026 and make contributions for the prior year. You just need to make sure that you set up or adopt that solo 401k plan this year in 2026 by your business tax return due date plus timely filed extension. So if your self-employed business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, That's going to translate to April 15 of 2026. If you file for that personal tax return extension, you're going to have an extra 6 months. So October 15 of 2026 to both open that solo 401k plan and make contributions for tax year 2025. We talked about this slide here already. We'll circle back to these in a moment. Let's look at sole proprietorship. So with the sole proprietorship, if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship and you have not yet opened the solo 401k plan and you had earned income from your sole proprietorship for tax year 2025, then you can consider opening a solo 401k plan here in 2026. If you open that solo 401k plan by April 15 of 2026, you and your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, you're going to be able to make all contribution types. So that's going to be employee contributions, employer profit sharing contributions, and voluntary after-tax solo 401k contributions for tax year 2025. You would need to make that employee contribution by April 15 of 2026 for tax year 2025 if you're opening that solo 401k plan for the first time here in 2026. Now, if you file for an extension for that sole proprietorship, so effectively a personal tax return extension, you're going to have until October 15 of 2026 to open that solo 401k plan and make employer profit sharing contributions as well as voluntary after-tax solo 401k contributions. However, you would not be able to make employee contributions because for a sole proprietorship, those had to be made by April 15 of 2026 if you are opening the plan for the first time in 2026. Of course, if you open the plan already by December 31st of 2025, then you can make all these contribution types, including employee contributions, employer contributions, and voluntary after-tax contributions by April 15 or October 15 of 2026 for tax year 2025 if you file a personal tax return extension for that sole proprietorship. So that's how it works for a sole proprietorship. Again, today we're talking more about sole proprietorship entity types, not the other ones, but let's just do a quick overview. If your business is taxed as an S corporation, you can open a solo 401k plan here in 2026 for 2025 as well. However, you're only going to be able to make employer profit sharing as well as voluntary after-tax contributions. And you would need to do so by March 15 of 2026. If you file an extension, you have until September 15 of 2026 to open and make those contributions for tax year 2025. Same rules apply for a partnership. You would have until March 15 or September 15 if you file an extension to both open that solo 401k plan and make employer profit sharing contributions as well as voluntary after-tax solo 401k contributions for tax year 2025, but you would not be able to make employee contributions. That exception only applies to the sole proprietorship as mentioned earlier. All right, if you're finding this information useful and making you feel confident, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It tells the platform that this content is valuable and it also helps others like you to find this information. And also when you subscribe, we're going to make sure that you receive notifications of when we go live. We typically go live once a day, many times twice a day. So the solo 401k offered by MySolo plan, again, if you're a sole proprietorship and you're looking to open it here in 2026 so that you can make year 2025 contributions. You can also process in-plan conversions where you make voluntary after-tax solo 401k contributions here in 2026 for 2025, and then you can convert those funds to the Roth solo 401k or the Roth IRA, for example. Here's an example of a one participant plan. So if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, the plan is sponsored by your sole proprietorship. We would assist you in opening up the 3 separate non-prototype brokerage accounts at Fidelity to hold the different solo 401k fund sources, those sources being the pre-tax funds, the Roth solo 401k funds, and the voluntary after-tax solo 401k funds, with our third bucket of voluntary after-tax funds used for the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy, where you would make a voluntary after-tax solo 401k contribution. And you can make that up to the overall limit, which is $70,000 for tax year 2025, for example. Once you make that contribution into that voluntary after-tax holding account, it gets converted to that Roth Solo 401k brokerage account at Fidelity or to a Roth IRA. And then we would need to collect the necessary information to issue the Form 1099-R to report that conversion to the government. So you would fill out our online conversion form, and then we would issue a Form 1099-R to the IRS to report that conversion. So if the conversion is processed in 2026, it'll be a Form 1099-R issued for tax year 2026. Here are the various contribution limits for tax year 2025. $70,000 for those under age 50. Those over age 50, $7,500 catch-up amount on top of that $70,000. Those age 60 through 63, you qualify for that super catch-up contribution of $11,250 instead of $7,500. That's also resulting from change in the Secure Act 2.0 regulations. So why using Fidelity investments for a solo 401k is not enough? Well, just like Schwab, Fidelity limits what you can do under their solo 401k. As I already touched on earlier, it doesn't allow for voluntary after-tax contributions, the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy, participant loans, the auto contribution credit, self-directed into alternative investments, and so forth. But when you utilize MySolo 401k Financial in conjunction with Fidelity Investments, you get the best of both worlds, because MySolo 401k Financial provides the solo 401k plan documents, the reporting and compliance support, and educational support. And then Fidelity holds the funds inside non-prototype brokerage accounts titled in the name of the solo 401k. And you can invest in equities, and you'll also be able to invest in real estate and alternative investments from those same brokerage accounts, because it's the plan from MySolo 401k Financial that allows for alternative investments, and we would shepherd you understanding those regulations and how to make those types of alternative investments. If you already have a solo 401k at Fidelity, you can actually upgrade that solo 401k plan to a solo 401k from MySolo 401k Financial, and we can help you to continue to use Fidelity investments for the solo 401k that we offer. We would need to help you open up new brokerage accounts at Fidelity under the solo 401k plan that we offer, and then transfer those existing assets and funds from that Fidelity solo 401k internally to the new brokerage accounts at Fidelity for the solo 401k offered by MySolo 401k Financial, and would add the auto contribution credit to that plan. So again, for a sole proprietorship, if you open a solo 401k plan in 2026, you can make employee contributions for tax year 2025, as long as you open that solo 401k plan by April 15 of 2026, and also make the contribution, that employee contribution, by that date. Employer contributions and voluntary after-tax contributions can also be made by April 15 of 2026, or by October 15 of 2026 for 2025 if you file a personal tax return extension for that sole proprietorship. So common mistakes is missing the deadline. So if you're looking to make contributions for tax year 2025 and you haven't yet opened that solo 401k plan, again, you still have time to do so here in 2026. Assuming that Schwab or Fidelity offers the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy, they do not. It's only offered by certain providers like MySolo 401k Financial, but we can help you open up brokerage accounts at Fidelity Investments for the plan that we offer, or even at Schwab or any other brokerage firm. And you need to make sure those contributions flow into those separate holding accounts under the plan that I mentioned earlier. So the way the setup works is here in my Solo 401k Financial, we would create the custom Solo 401k plan that allows for all the various options I mentioned earlier. So it has all those features: voluntary after-tax contributions, Mega Backdoor Roth, participant loans, auto contribution credit, alternative investments, and so forth. And what's great about using my Solo 401k Financial over other providers is that it's your money, so you choose where to hold the money at. We let you decide where to hold the funds at, whether at Fidelity, Schwab, any other brokerage firm, your local bank, credit union. It's your money, you decide, and we'll help you get everything set up and handle the compliance support. Help you with calculations as well. So your next step would be, if you're looking to set up a Solo 401k plan for the first time, you can open a Solo 401k by going to our open account page. We can help you use Fidelity Investments or any other brokerage firm to hold the funds. So take a look at MySolo401k.net for more information. So the auto contribution credit that I touched on earlier, it's a dollar for dollar credit for a total of $1,500. It's broken down in $500 increments over a 3-year period. So while traditional Solo 401k providers like Fidelity, Schwab, T. Rowe Price, ADP, Chase, Wells Fargo, while they don't provide a Solo 401k that has the auto contribution credit included, here in my Solo 401k Financial, we were the first ones in the industry to offer that type of plan with an auto contribution credit, starting back around the end of December of 2023. So anyone who's a client of my Solo 401k Financial or signs up for the first time, we automatically draft those Solo 401k plan documents with that auto contribution feature. If you are a client of my Solo 401k Financial prior to December of 2023, we can update your plan now so that you qualify for that auto contribution credit as well. It's a dollar for dollar credit. So again, with this credit, the cost of opening and maintaining the Solo 401k plan is effectively subsidized by the government for many years to come. Once we add this auto contribution credit to your plan, you're not required to contribute to the plan. You can opt out of contributing, and you will still be able to contribute up to the overall limit or under that amount. So in short, you're not required to contribute, and you can still contribute in order to qualify for the auto contribution credit. You just need to make sure you utilize a Solo 401k plan provider like my Solo 401k Financial, who has that credit built into their plan, along with the applicable schedules. So again, it's a total of $1,500. So for those who open a plan here in 2026 or have that auto contribution credit added to their plan here in 2026, this would be the first year that you would qualify for that $500 credit. So $500 in 2026, a second $500 amount in 2027, and a third final $500 amount in 2028 for a total of $1,500. You're going to file Form 8881 each year to claim that $500 credit each year for that 3-year period. We'll provide a PowerPoint and a video presentation on how to claim that credit on using Form 8881. Okay, great. Looks like we don't have any questions right now. Please visit our My Community, which is MySolo401k.net/my community, where you can post forums, blog posts. It's free to join. We have over 32,000 members there. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so that we can keep building this community. Until next time, have a great rest of the day.